Good morning. Good morning. I'm just looking at a couple error messages. Speaking of which, I'm not sure what happened yesterday, and that's why I'm checking these error messages right now. Make sure we're good. All right, I think we're good. Again, for those of you who were watching yesterday, I don't know what happened. I just got a black screen on my side, and then I was still busy talking, and then at some point I noticed that there was a black screen, and then I guess it cut off. So I'm going to recap some of what I said yesterday. I'm not sure how much you saw. So starting from the top. Hey, happy Thursday. This is the 9th day of December. This is the 54th episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. I can't even believe that. 54 episodes of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Anyway, HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. Obviously, I'm wearing the HERO hoodie right now. That means helping others helps you. It is a reciprocal action. You help yourself as you help others. It works. Try it. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I am a professional creative and the creator of what we're now calling the HERO Ministry Movement. And that's my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused through a number of different means, including the charity run, which we'll talk about in a second, and some other things, including these HERO hoodies. All right, quick disclaimer. I am not a personal trainer, nor am I a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. And check me out here Monday through Friday, new time, 9:45 a.m. Eastern. That's 8:45 a.m. Central, 7:45 a.m. Mountain. If this show provides any value, feel free to like, comment, share, or make a donation. All that information is in the show notes underneath the show. Okay, so again, apologies to those of you that tuned in yesterday and got cut off. I'm not sure what happened. Let's jump into the HERO Ministry Movement news. So I'm going to repeat some of the information from yesterday just to make sure you got it. So this is a quick charity run recap. I was doing thank yous, and yesterday I was doing the thank yous for the people who donated to this most recent phase, when I created the campaign on the Pledge It website. So shout out to those people. Shout out to Linda Wellness Warrior. Shout out to Rev Mel's mom. Shout out to John Thomas, who came to us through Simone. Shout out to Simone. Shout out to Kelvin Moses, Morehouse brother. Also shout out to Ramona Curtis. She is the creator of Unhoused St. Louis, one of the Fabulous 5 nonprofits. She donated not only to my run, but also to me personally. So double shout out to Ramona Curtis. Okay, so the next phase of thank yous is the folks who donated in July, really before it even really became a charity run. If you remember, I was running for my birthday. This was a fitness challenge for the month of June. And then at the end of June, my Morehouse brother, Corby, said that he was going to give me $1 a mile for the miles that I accumulated in July. And that kicked off a snowball effect. So I need to cobble together the thank yous for that period, because that was, the money came to me all kinds of ways, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. So I'm gonna have to, anyway, the point is I have to cobble that information together, and that will be phase 3 of the thank yous. And then I'm gonna have a whole list, and I'll do a run through of all the names together, and that'll be fun for me. Okay, so moving on. Truck drop stories. I don't have any truck drop stories anymore, drop stories, but I do have another truck spotting story. So I was at a stoplight and I was in the far left lane, and there was an 18-wheeler coming off the expressway in the opposite direction. So he comes off the expressway and he's kind of coming into my lane just enough for me to notice and look up at him. And when I looked up at him, I saw that he was busy looking down at the truck, and that's why he was a little bit over the lane. So really, this truck has been a head turner, especially here in Nashville, which is truck country. So this 2022 Nissan Frontier is a pre-production model, and that's probably a piece of it. People haven't seen this on the street at all, and it's got some graphics on the side, some lettering, and the hot pop of red everywhere. So that's been pretty cool for people, I guess. Anyway, people have been checking it out. So that's my truck spotting story. Again, shout out to Nissan for the wheels. They have come in very handy. And of course, I'm turning some heads. Okay, So, hoodies for the homeless story. As I've said, there were many stories that were generated at the 4th annual Hoodies for the Homeless event, and I've been kind of teasing them out as I remember them. So today, we're going to talk about Bella. Bella was a handful. Bella was a handful. She had so much what I call force of personality. She had a really big personality, and she was checking out all the booths and getting all the different things and interacting with all the people. And I remember she came up to us, me and my childhood friend Perry. At this point, what we had done is that we had turned the side of the truck into a kind of display case. The hero hoodie merchandise was in front of us in plastic bags, and then behind us, hanging up on the side of the truck, were other slightly used items. And so Bella came up with her finger pointed. She was like, "Oh, oh," and she just kind of made that noise. And so we handed her what that was. It was a pair of leggings. And then Perry was showing her something else. And then she got excited again about something else that was on the truck that became visible as I moved the leggings. And they were like a pair of denim shorts. And she got really excited about a few different things. And then maybe 10, 15 minutes later, Perry nudged me and pointed. And Bella was wearing everything she had gotten from our truck. Everything. She had it on physically. She wasn't carrying it. She had put the tights on. She had the denim shorts over the tights. Like she had put together a whole outfit, and it was matching and everything. She was all color coordinated. And it was so funny that later in the day, everyone had stories about Bella because, again, she had a really big personality and she'd interact with all these folks. So you all had a Bella story. And the funniest Bella story by far was the fact that she had accumulated so many things that she negotiated with Jay White, who was the founder of Project Love Strong, to take Jay's little buggy. There's like a little wheeled cart that Jay was using to carry stuff around for the event. So Bella negotiated to get the buggy from Jay so she could carry all the stuff that she got to her place. And I thought that was so funny. And it became this group activity. We're all trying to figure out how to get all the stuff that she had, the stuff that she wasn't wearing, because like I said, she was wearing the stuff that she got from us, all the things that she had into the cart and then wheel it down the street and get it to where she's going. It was very, very amusing. So everybody has a Bella story. Let me see if I can find a picture of her. I hope I do. I hope I have one because she was very, very memorable. So anyway, that is my Hoodies for the Homeless story from Saturday. My most recent Hoodies from the Homeless story. Okay, so let me sidebar for a second. So because I just finished talking about the thank yous for the Hero Charity Run, let me just say I haven't run today yet, which is very odd. This is the second time I haven't run before the show since I completed my goals. And I think that's only the second time I haven't run before the show ever in the history of the show. Twice, and both of them happened just now after I completed my run. And so I was telling Rev Mel in the green room after the shows yesterday that the universe is trying to tell me something. The universe is very strongly trying to get my attention. The show being cut off yesterday, and me, not doing my runs until after the show, and some other things that have been going on too. So I'm not exactly sure what the universe is trying to tell me. But let me tell you this though, real quick sidebar. I went to bed early because I was like, let me just reset. And so I woke up in the middle of the night because, I'd gotten the number of hours I needed for sleep. But it was like too early to do anything, I felt like. So it was like 2:00 in the morning. I'm just up, looking around. And I was like, all right, well, let me start to do something. So I started doing a little work on my phone. And then I was like, all right, there was more, what's the right word to use? Feedback. More feedback that was trying to get my attention. Like what I was trying to do on my phone was not easy. It was something that I thought would have been easy, became challenging. And I said, what is the universe trying to tell me? And so I went to bed with that thought. My intention was, all right, universe, I see that you're trying to tell me something. I don't know what it is. I'm going to need a little more clarity, right? And so this morning, obviously I woke up late because I was up in the middle of the night doing stuff. And then I woke up late. So that's part of why I haven't done my run. But in the morning, I was like, I don't have a lot of time. I'm only going to do a very short, truncated morning practice. And my morning practice was very specific, very spot on, very do this, do that, do this. Like it was like the universe was answering. And you know what I did? I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either. And it was so funny to me that that's how it is, right? Like we pray for answers to prayer, and then when we get the answer and it's not what we want, we're like, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to sit with it. And tomorrow is Free Flow Friday, so we might have to talk about some things on Friday, but I'm going to sit with it for now. Just know that the universe responded very directly to some of the things that have been going on. So, all right, that's my sidebar. I'm giving myself one sidebar and then I'm getting back to it. So now it's about 10 o'clock. It's time to reset the room. For those of you just joining us, the show now starts at 9:45. It's a half-hour show. This season is about spiritual prosperity, so abundance in all the different ways. And that's a perfect segue to our affirmation. So let's do our affirmation together and ground ourselves in it. So I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. So this reminds me of something. The other day, my mom and I were watching one of these thought leaders talk about investing. And he gave a quote, which I've heard before, but this time it resonated more strongly. So I just want to share it with you. Poor people spend, the middle class saves, and the wealthy invest. Yikes, right? Yikes. I'm going to say it again. Poor people spend, the middle class saves, but the wealthy invest. Yeah, I added a but. So again, this is just a reminder that investing is not optional. I think for me, the messages I've gotten from the world, to me, have seemed to be that investing is optional. Like you can or you might want to, but it's not imperative. But no, the more I read, the more I listen, the more I study this, the more I see that investing is imperative. Like even if you have a large sum of money, if you just sock it away, it is slowly losing value. You know, it is being detracted from by the rising cost of inflation, rising cost of goods, etc. So it is imperative to invest. And so you've got to find ways that you feel comfortable investing, even if it's not the stock market, even if it's not cryptocurrency. You must find ways to invest because that's how you maintain the value of your money and also increase it. So it's imperative. So I'm just going to say it again. Poor people spend, the middle class saves, the wealthy invest. So invest. Okay, so I said yesterday, I'm not sure if this part was heard or not, but I said yesterday that I was going to start dividing this part of the show into two parts. So stock market and crypto. So I've come up with two titles for these sections: stock market kindergarten, because I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get the basics. So stock market kindergarten and planet techno. So stock market kindergarten. So yesterday and the day before, I guess this week, I've been talking about buying the dip, and I discovered something else that I want to talk about. So I was buying the dip again because Meta, i.e. Facebook, is still down, or so I thought. And so my intention was to buy the dip again. So just to recap, buying the dip is essentially buying a stock that you believe in when it goes lower. It's important that you believe in it because if you don't believe in it, then you'll just close your position and you'll get out of the stock. So if this is a stock that you believe in other words, this is a stock that you believe will win long term, and then you're going to stick to your guns, you're going to stay in the stock, and when it goes down, you're going to think of it as on sale and buy more. That is called buying the dip. It's also called averaging down because you're averaging down your cost per share, the amount of money that you spent per share. So I've been doing that just a little bit this week because both Meta and Netflix were down. So I was literally throwing $1 on each every day that it appeared to be down. And then I realized and some of you may have realized this too, that the way the apps display the information can be confusing. So you must make sure that the stock is down for you. Like there's two different downs. It could be down for the market and up for you, or it could be down for you and up for the market. So you have to make a distinction between whether the stock is down for the market or whether the stock is down for you. And that's not a distinction that I've made before. So now we all have to pay attention to this. Those of us who are in the stock market have to pay attention to this. So if we see that Meta is down, right? And everybody's talking about the fact that Meta is down, then we have to go into our portfolio and look for our numbers, because based on when we bought Meta at whatever price on whatever day, we may be up. And that number will show itself, but not on the main screen that shows that Meta is down. Like on the individual page, it's going to show that the individual page of a stock, it's going to show that that stock is up or down. But once you click into your portfolio, it's going to tell you whether you're up or down. So make sure that you know that you're up or down before you try to buy the dip, right? So it's not going to make much of a difference for me because, as I just said, I was only spending $1. But I'm grateful for that lesson. And so now as I move forward, I'll make sure to check my specific numbers, my personal numbers, before I decide if I'm up or down. Okay, that reminds me of something else. So for those of you that are on Ameritrade, I discovered a while ago and forgot to mention that, first of all, if you're on Cash App and you're on Ameritrade, I'm sure you're a little bit intimidated by Ameritrade. There are lots of moving numbers and lots of bars and colors, and it's much more confusing than Cash App or Robinhood or some of the newer, more user-friendly apps. That said, the information is pretty dense. They give you a lot of information in Ameritrade. And I discovered not recently, a while ago, but I forgot to talk about it. What I discovered is you can edit the way the information is displayed for you. So what I've done in my Ameritrade portfolios is I've arranged the information so that whether or not it's up for me, whether that stock is up for me or down for me, is like almost the first thing I see. In other words, I can see in one column that the stock is up or down, but in the next column, I can see if it's up or down for me specifically. And so that eliminates confusion, or will eliminate confusion in the future. You can literally drag and drop the column so that you can arrange it exactly the way that it makes sense for you. Because again, like, you don't want to be confused by thinking that a position that you're in is down when you're actually up. So just for example, let's just take Netflix. Like, you could click into Netflix and it could be red and the bar graph could be all the way down, but that is reflecting today's action. It's down today. But then you go a couple columns over and you see that you're way green. Your bar graph is way up because of when you bought. So what I did is I condensed the columns so that they're right next to each other. So I can see that Netflix is down, but I can also see that I'm up on Netflix if I am right next to each other. So that's my tip. If you're trying to figure out how to do it, I would just Google it. Actually, YouTube. I would go to YouTube and type how to arrange columns within Ameritrade into YouTube, and then watch somebody do it for you. Okay, so that was a mouthful. But it's very important, though, that you know if you're up or down. And isn't that like a life lesson? We need to know if we are up or down. Never mind what's going on in the world around us. Like, for example, like, there's been a lot of crazy periods, quote unquote crazy periods in the news recently. And I heard people start to use this phrase, "I'm not okay." It became very popular very fast. I saw it a lot in social media posts. The first line of a post would be, "I'm not okay." And then there'll be all the reasons why I'm not okay. And it would be a reaction to something that was happening in the world outside. And we have to be very careful with our language, because these things become self-fulfilling prophecies. We do not want to make an affirmation out of "I'm not okay." We want to make an affirmation out of being abundant, about being a multimillionaire, about all the positive things that we can bring towards ourselves. So it's important to recognize that the world can be doing whatever it's doing. The market for the world can be down, but your market, your personal space, your spiritual practice, your Zen can still be up. And that's the goal, to keep your personal space up. Keep that bar graph green and going up, no matter what's happening out there in the world around you. All right, so a little life lesson from the stock market. Okay, let's move on over to Planet Crypto. So Planet Techno. So I talked a little bit about cold wallets. Shout out to Nan for asking me questions about cold wallets. It got me into that rabbit hole. So cold wallets versus hot wallets. Basically, a hot wallet is connected to the internet. So a hot wallet exists on your phone, on your devices, and you're connected to the internet, basically. A cold wallet is a physical device like a thumb drive, where you can download your NFTs and your cryptocurrency to a physical thing. It really looks like most of them that I've seen look like a thumb drive. You download it to that, and then you take it out of the machine and put it somewhere. So I just want to circle back to that to say, yes, the value of your cryptocurrency in a hot wallet definitely fluctuates. I've been watching every day, and yeah, it fluctuates. So that means that if you're going to transfer from a hot wallet to a cold wallet, which many people suggest you do, because then it's impossible to hack because it's not connected to anything. I forgot to mention that. That's the point. Because it's not plugged into the internet, it's impossible to hack. It's in your physical device. It's like when you had a term paper and you put the term paper on the thumb drive to make sure nobody could get to it, make sure nobody erased it or anything. It's the same thing. So the point I'm making now, however, is that you have to be very careful about when you transfer your funds from a hot wallet to a cold wallet, because you want to make sure it's as far up as it can possibly be. And unlike the stock market, the crypto market is open 24/7, 365. So now we're really talking about perhaps setting up some automated functions, which we haven't talked about yet, because I haven't delved too far into that yet. But we might be talking about that in the future, because you might want it to automatically. Oh, can you even do that? I don't even know. I don't even know if you can automatically transfer it to a cold wallet. I know that you can automatically close your position when it reaches a certain amount, but I don't know if you can automatically transfer it to a cold wallet. But the point is, be mindful of what the value is before you transfer it to your cold wallet, because once it's transferred to a cold wallet, again, it's not connected to anything, so it's a fixed value. Okay, so there's that. And also, sidebar to this world of techno, I went to a restaurant the other day and I was paying for my food, and I saw the option to pay via Cash App. And I was like, what? Cash App has jumped out into the world? Yes. So you can pay via credit card, cash, or Cash App. And I was like, okay, I literally canceled the transaction and had to do it over again so I could pay via Cash App, just because I wanted to see how it worked, because I was already in the process of paying via credit card. And so basically what happens is there's a QR code. If you're not familiar with the name, you've probably seen a QR code. It's that little black and white square that you've seen in a lot of different places. Oh, that's my alarm. Got to wrap it up. So it's the black and white square that you've seen in a lot of places, especially during the pandemic, and you scan that code to do certain things. So that's called a QR code. So on the credit card device, a QR code popped up. And then on my phone, I opened the Cash App, and there was a scanner button on the Cash App, within the Cash App. So I put the scanner button, I scan the QR code, and it says, pay this amount for this food. And I clicked yes. Fascinating. And so it all happens seamlessly. So you can actually do many things with Cash App now. Not only can you transfer money peer to peer, you can also, as we've been talking about, invest in the stock market. You can also buy Bitcoin. you can also buy goods and services, apparently. I don't know how many people are on the platform, but there's at least that one restaurant here, and I know it's not the one, right? So, and then also you can send stock and Bitcoin to other people. I was talking about this with Rev Mel, and she was saying that she's going to ask people to send her stock for Christmas. And I was like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And again, if you've got kids, children in your life, they probably have Cash App already. They probably had Cash App for years. So you can send them stock, whether they want stock or not. You can send them a little piece and just let it accumulate in their account over time. Let it just sit there. So that's a good way to invest in their future or grown folks' future. If you want to send some stock my way, nobody's going to say no. If you want to send some stock Rev Mel's way, nobody's going to say no. So anyway, when I mentioned all this to Rev Mel, the fact that you can buy stock, you can buy food with Cash App, immediately she asked, is it publicly traded? Which again is all about mindset. We're in the mindset now of investing. And yes, Cash App is publicly traded. It's owned by Square. And you've probably heard of Square if you've paid for something remotely. Yeah, it's very, very similar to some other remote paying services. But yes, Square owns Cash App. And yes, it's publicly traded. And they seem to be trending up, as you see by these services that I just mentioned, and the fact that they allow you to buy and sell and transfer Bitcoin. I think they're going to be a company to watch and maybe invest in now as they continue to grow. Because again, if they're accepting money for goods and services now, it's only going to get bigger, especially given the touchless society that was developed out of the pandemic. Okay, so again, I'm not a financial advisor, but that seems to make sense to me. So you might want to check out Square, which owns Cash App. Okay, so that was kind of Planet Techno and stock combined. A little bit of both. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the resources. I haven't done that in a while. Do the resource list. So reminder, check out my podcast, Get Rich 101. It's available on all the podcasting platforms. Check out the book, The Science of Getting Rich. That's literally the book that I'm reading in my podcast, Get Rich 101. The only difference is in my podcast, I give some reactions to the content. Check out the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Richard Kiyosaki. Very important mind-shifting book. Check out the show, Giant Beast That Is the Global Economy. Definitely check out episode 7 about cryptocurrency, but check out the whole season. You'll see some fabulous cameos. They've got all kinds of celebrities making cameos in that show. And it's funny. It's enjoyable. You'll learn a lot, but it's funny. Okay, and check out bigmoneycrypto.com. Even if you're not ready to really dive into crypto, just go to the website, bigmoneycrypto.com, and read the headlines. Honestly, just reading the headlines will give you a real bird's eye view of what's going on and how big this thing is, because the headlines on the site are global. They're not just USA headlines, they're global headlines. And you'll see that there are other countries adopting cryptocurrency. Just go check it out. Just watch there's a scroll of like a main story feed, and it'll show headlines, and just read those. And if any of them really draw you in, click into it just to, again, become more and more familiar with what I'm calling Planet Techno. All right, so coming up at 10:15, yes, Eastern time is prayer time. And then after that is Sit with Rev Melissa at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned for both. You'll probably see me again on Sit with Rev Melissa. Until then, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero, and remember that now is better than perfect. There. Uh-oh, I forgot my music. Where's my music? My outro music. Here we go.